Hello everybody, how's everyone doing? Hopefully well. I'm mellow, deal with it. Doesn't it seem like anytime anybody makes any kind of noise, all of a sudden he's on somebody's pound for pound list? Doesn't it seem like everybody's on the pound for pound list these days? Like it doesn't really mean anything to be a pound for pound level fighter because it's supposed to be 10 spots, but if you really count up these fighters, it like comes out to like 50. 50 fighters, taking up 10 spots. How is that credible? The reason why I've never made a top 10 pound for pound list is because, not a video anyway, is because to have an honest and accurate, at least as much as possible, list that follows certain standards, certain rules, I mean, that would take hours and hours and hours of watching all kinds of fighters. All the best fighters in the world. Fighters that I've never even seen fight and don't care to, don't have the time to watch. Just like the average boxing fan. But I have watched this guy, and I could tell you he's not a pound for pound fighter. Right? I can't rank him really, or honestly, or I can't really make a top 10 pound for pound list, but I have a rough idea of what it takes to be on that pound for pound list, and he's not on there by any stretch of imagination. Should someone like Naoya Inoue be on the top 10 pound for pound list? It's just nonsense. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't have the skill, that he doesn't look like he could potentially be on the pound for pound list, could earn that sort of recognition. I'm not saying that he's a bad fighter at all. All I'm saying is that he never proved that he's a pound for pound level fighter. He just never proved it. Lomachenko proved it. Of course he did. Look, this really isn't rocket science, but Guillermo Rigondeaux was considered a top 10 pound for pound fighter. According to a lot of people, he was top 3. Some people had him number 1. I mean, that's crazy and all, but he was top 3 pound for pound. And if that's the case, and Lomachenko beat him, and Lomachenko was already in the top 10 and top 3 also, you potentially had 2 top 3 pound for pound fighters, right? And that's why everyone was so excited about the fight. But that's what y'all said. I'm trying to hold you to your fucking standard. Right? It wasn't my standard. So you had 2 top 5, let's just say, pound for pound fighters facing off each other. Now, how the fuck is the winner not potentially gonna be the number 1 guy, right? Look, if the fight were really close and competitive and Lomachenko pulled out a tough fought victory, that doesn't make him pound for pound number 1. Because the smaller guy was basically competing with him. Maybe the smaller guy should be above him, right? But that's not what happened. Lomachenko made Rigondeaux look like a fucking bum, okay? He outlanded him 5-1. Rigondeaux couldn't touch him. He was getting peppered, he was getting hurt, he was getting rocked, and he decided not to continue. He was in survival mode, and he just quit in 6 rounds. And Lomachenko didn't bully him. He used boxing skill to embarrass and school and shut him the fuck down. So I don't give a shit how much bigger you are. If you're schooling the shit out of a top 3 pound for pound guy with your boxing skill, how the fuck are you not the number 1 guy in the sport? Unless you got maybe the number 2 and the number 4 fighting each other and performing, and the smaller guy is maybe doing what Lomachenko did or something like that, or even the number 2 guy is schooling the number 4 guy, right? But then you have another contender for the number one spot maybe, but you're still not gonna convince me that that's better than the number one and the number three, or two top three guys. Maybe, right? But that's not happening right now. So how isn't Lomachenko number one pound for pound? If you believe that Rigondeaux was so high on the pound for pound list, right? I'm just trying to hold you to your fucking standard. But all of a sudden, that's not okay, right? What a fucking joke, man. But, you know, the reason why Inoue is not a pound-for-pound fighter is because he never fought anybody even close to the pound, you know, that sort of status. Now, you might want to say that Narvaez was, you know, given the string of his defenses and blah, 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 that maybe he was in the conversation for pound, but he never really was. He just wasn't. I'm sorry, he wasn't. And when he stepped up to fight a pound-for-pound guy, Nonito Donaire, he bitched out and he lost every single round. He didn't want to fight. He was scared, right? He quit. He basically did the same thing that Rigondeaux did. He quit in his own little way. So you can't put him on the pound-for-pound list either. Elite fighter, great fighter, but is he one of the best top 10 fighters in the world? Fuck no. He didn't prove it. So, and look, I could sit down with anybody and they're going to give me their pound for pound list or maybe their top 5, and I'll ask them some questions. I'm going to show you how their list is bullshit. How they don't follow their own standard, right? And 90% of those people, I'm gonna show them how by their own criteria, Manny Pacquiao is the number one pound for pound fighter in the world. I'm gonna take your criteria, use them against you, and show you that, I'm not saying in all cases, but in most cases, how Pacquiao is the pound for pound fighter. According to you. But, you know, Inoue had a chance to fight in the flyweight division or fight against the flyweights. Roman Gonzalez was the number one pound for pound fighter in the world at that time. And Gallo Estrada, some people were saying he was, you know, that also on the pound for pound list, or you can't have both of them on the pound for pound list. That's just, come on. There are more than 10 divisions in boxing, and if you're going to be fair, at least try to find one guy from each division. And you can't even do that, but you can't be telling me that there's all these pound for pound fighters in one division all of a sudden. That's a little ridiculous, right? So, just like saying that Errol Spence and Keith Thurman are on the pound for pound list when they're not even the best in their own division. It's nonsense. So, Inoue ducked the flyweight division. I remember watching a video when before he jumped over the flyweight division, Spanish-speaking reporter asked him about the Gonzalez fight. And his camp just refused to talk about it, and they basically said that they don't want to fight him right now, right? It wasn't in his plans. And look, the reason why Inoue didn't fight Gonzalez at flyweight is because he wanted to wait. He wanted Gonzalez to get older, and he wanted to fight Gonzalez at a weight division where he wasn't draining himself this much. Right? He wanted to fight him at a higher weight that was going to be more advantageous to him. Get some experience and all that stuff, right? He's a huge moneymaker in Japan, I presume, and taking an L to Gonzalez would be a huge risk. So it didn't make sense for him to do that at flyweight or to even fight Estrada, right? Less money and also a pound for pound fighter, right? So he didn't do that. And now, as I was listening to Del Boy's video. According to him, after this fight that Inoue is going to have real soon, he's going to move up without fighting the flyweights that moved up to super flyweight, where he is now, right? I'm not saying they were chasing him, but maybe some of them are. They move up. And without fighting them again, he's going to move up even more, right? But that's the pound for pound fighter, because he's cherry picking titles, jumping divisions, instead of fighting fellow or true pound for pound fighter in Roman Gonzalez. Or now that Rung Visai beat the crap out of Gonzalez, fight Rung Visai. But see, that's just the thing. And I think it substantiates my theory a little bit. Even if maybe Inoue was willing to fight Roman Gonzalez at super flyweight, right? You saw why that was. Because Roman Gonzalez is not a super flyweight. He's too small for that division. And someone with a lot of strength and, you know, some dirty tactics was able to beat him. Not someone that's as skillful as he is, but he's just bigger and tougher, and he could take the punch and could keep coming, and Gonzalez couldn't take his punch. That's what happened, right? And that's likely to have been the story with Inoue, who's a huge weight bully, right? That's another reason why he shouldn't be on a pound for pound, is because he's not fighting the best fighters that he's fighting. He's not fighting. They're much smaller than he is, right? And again, there are pound for pound fighters at flyweight that he didn't want to fight. Anyway, and now that he's at super flyweight and Gonzalez was taken out of the picture, basically, you know, he's not going to fight the guy that beat Gonzalez. If he didn't want to fight Gonzalez, I was maybe considering fighting him because he was, you know, smaller and not as strong. Now that you got this guy that's big and strong and was able to beat Gonzalez, why should he fight him, right? And that's even less money. So Naoya, once again, ducked the flyweight division, except, you know, the flyweights that moved up and the super flyweight that beat the former pound for pound #1 fighter in the world. So, you know, but that's not to say that Naoya doesn't potentially have the skill that could get him on the pound for pound list. But you gotta prove it, man. That's all I'm saying. You gotta prove it. Just because you're cherry picking titles against these midgets over here, that doesn't mean shit. You know, I heard some comparisons to Narvaez in the Nonito fight and against Inoue. And that's fair, I suppose. But, you know, Narvaez ran from Nonito. He's going right after Inoue, right? Maybe he was... And Inoue just punches right through him, right? Is he outboxing him? Is he schooling him? Is he doing it? No, he's hitting his guard and he's knocking him down, but just by hitting his guard, right? He didn't even land a clean punch and he put him on his ass. Did he win this fight with boxing skill? Did he? Or did he just punch through the guy? Or is he using his size and strength? Huh? Or is he outboxing the guy? He's not even landing anything cleanly. Right? Look how tiny Narvaez is in comparison to Inoue. Right? He's cracking mentally. He just wants to check out already. He grazes the top of his head with the bottom of his fist. And the guy goes down. Loses his balance. You think size has anything to do with this fight? or who won this fight? Anyway, but you know, Inoue's got good speed. He can't cut the ring off for shit. Maybe he's learned already, but he can't cut the ring off for shit. Right? Gets cracked, right? Gets wide open and gets hit with the counter. If that's Golovkin countering you, or Nonito Donaire even countering you right there, what's going to happen? You're going to go to sleep, Nayoya. Right? If that's Nonito countering his ass with the left hook, look at that. Boom. Right? You're going to sleep, you know it. Not cutting the ring off. Right? Narvaez is outboxing him, basically. No one's landing anything, but Narvaez is outboxing him, right? Look at that. Inoue is just punching through him. Right? Is he landing any clean punches? Is he setting stuff up? He's setting it up a little bit, but not to a point where he could actually land any clean punches. He's able to get him to the body, you know. He's a good counter puncher. But it's just mostly just single shots punching through the guy, through his opponent, right? Right? Just hitting the guard, and Narvaez can't take it. But look at Narvaez, how aggressive he is. He's going after him. Right? He wasn't doing that with Nonito. Was he? No, he would have gotten killed if you try to do that with Nonito, which is why he got killed in this fight. Look how open Inoue is. He's going straight back, right? He goes straight back. Not that hard to hit him, is it? Right? He's getting outboxed, but Narvaez just can't handle. Look, he hits the guard. Look at the power difference here. He hits the guard and Narvaez just goes flying back. Right? He's planted, he hits him, and Narvaez just goes flying back. Maybe he helped out a little bit, but it's not like he had a choice. Look, he's just punching right at his guard, right? Look how huge this kid is. He's draining himself. You're going to see how he fills in at bantamweight, and he'll probably go up from there. Huge weight bully. Let's see these knockdowns. Gets him a little bit there. Not a clean punch, though. See, he didn't even land. He just hit the guard and knocked him off balance. Barely grazed the top of his head. What are you celebrating, kid? Come on. Calm down, bro. It's like you're beating up on an old midget. Boo-hoo. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not saying he's not talented. Right? He just wants to land a big bomb. Is he really setting anything up? No, it's just like single shots. Narvaez is the one with the footwork. Inoue is just kind of straight up and down. He moves well. He's got good movement. He's got... That's nice footwork. That was nice. But he didn't land anything, did he? Maybe a body shot. Yeah, he didn't land anything. He's just punching at his guard. And it's not like Golovkin punching at your guard, occupying your guard, and setting up a big body shot, right? That's not what he's doing. Can't cut the ring off for shit. You're comparing him to guys like Golovkin, and this dude can't even cut the ring off. Are you kidding me? Fucking fanboys, man. Let's try to keep it real, people, right? You watch these fights, supposedly, right? He's getting outboxed, isn't he? Just punching right at his guard, straight at him, right? He's going to punch through this kid. Oh, man. He's able to control the distance a little bit, right? You got a midget in front of him. right? He's getting outboxed, isn't he? Pound for pound, my ass, man. Get the fuck out of here. He's getting catches him with the counter, and Narvaez just can't take it, man. That was a nice counter. That was a very nice counter. But we already know that he just can't take this dude's power. And he's so much shorter. His arms are so much shorter. He has to lunge in, right? He has to close the distance to get to this much, much bigger man. He has to take chances, expose himself, right? Why do you think Naoya looks so impressive in this fight? Size had everything to do with this. This isn't a Lomachenko performance against Rigondeaux. This one's all about size. Right? Still not cutting the ring off. Nice jab. He's got nice tools, right? Sharp jab, powerful punches, good speed, nice footwork, good combination punching. Not as good as Canelo, but good combination punching. There he set up a body shot. Right, but he's still getting hit. He's still getting cracked. And fine, he was backing straight out. He's getting outboxed. He's getting schooled. I mean, he just needs to land one punch and he's winning the round, right? What kind of pressure does that put on the little guy who can't even really do anything because he just can't take his power? That's all it is. That's all this was. He didn't outbox him. He just powered through the little guy, and the little guy just quit. Because what is he supposed to do, right? He could have gotten up a split second earlier. But why? What's the point? I mean, he's acting like he just conquered the world. And it's okay. He's a kid. He's happy. He's accomplished something that never been done before, or I don't know, been done once before. I don't remember. Like he beat or tied some kind of record. And it is what it is, man. Could he be a pound for pound now? I mean, and look, I understand that he's fighting Narvaez. Narvaez can't really do anything to him. He could allow himself to go a little wild and let his defense down, maybe because he wants to counter. Okay, fine. But that still doesn't change the fact that he can't cut the ring off. He backs up straight. And there were other mistakes I wasn't really pointing out. He drops his hands when he throws punches, and he can be countered fairly well and cleanly, right? But, you know, if he finds somebody more dangerous, he's going to fix. Maybe he'll adjust and he'll fix those mistakes, and, you know. But we got to see that. We have to see that. He has to fight somebody on the level of Narvaez that's his size, if you want to talk about pound for pound, right? So, you know, this pound for pound shit, like, you fanboys are ruining it. Like, it's already not very credible to begin with, but all this fanboyism is just killing it. Because people aren't really watching these fights. They're not really being honest about what they're seeing. They're not even really expecting this guy to prove himself against the best. They just want to put him on the pound for pound list. If this kid wants to be on the pound for pound list, he needs to fight Rungvisai. He needs to fight Estrada. You understand? He needs to fight Donaire. That's who he needs to fight. Not a bunch of fucking cherry picks and has-beens and never was. Delayed reaction. Or he just decided to quit. I don't know. Either way, he quit. But I don't blame him. You know what I mean? nice hard punch, good technique, I guess. Effective, but land that on somebody your own size and let's see what happens, right? It just doesn't mean that much. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not trying to crap on Inoue. I think he's a good fighter. I enjoy watching him fight. But hold the fuck up, man. Like, you can't be having all these flyweights or super flyweights on the pound for pound list. They gotta sort that shit out. And these kids got a lot to prove. You know what I mean? Let them... Look, I watched the people he beat, and I wasn't impressed by any of his opponents. I mean, they were so ordinary and average, and he's not giving me anything here. I don't know how good he is. You know what I mean? And let's not pretend like he didn't just get outboxed by the little guy and used his power to beat his ass, just like Terence Crawford got outboxed by Gamboa and used his size and power to win the fight. Terence Crawford, as far as pound for pound goes, he's not even on Gamboa's level. Well, at that point, he wasn't, because he couldn't outbox Gamboa. He just beat him because he was bigger, much bigger. I think we have a better Terence Crawford now than the Terence in that fight, but still, let him fight fighters his size that are also good. You know what I mean? Whenever Terence Crawford has a fight, it's easy money, right? He's a huge favorite, retarded huge. The only time he wasn't a huge favorite was when he was a 6-1 favorite against Posto, and that's exactly how. And Lomachenko was a smaller favorite than Crawford against Posto. And look at Crawford's performance, and look at Lomachenko's performance. But I have to suffer all these fools telling me that we're lowering the bar for a guy like Lomachenko. Like, people really have to be retarded. Like, are we dealing with sane people here? I don't think we are. It's crazy how fucking dumb people are sometimes, man. We're so emotional and just in love with these fighters that they completely forget that this is boxing, people. This is about boxing. Talented guy, but he ain't fought nobody. And the same goes for Crawford. Get over it.